That's probably a pleasant sound. Good morning. Sunday morning Huckleberries.
I'm letting you do the intro.
I'm doing the intro?
Mm-hmm.
This is... Hold on.
I shouldn't have let him do that.
This is Sunday morning Huckleberries with Jennifer Huckleberry and Tyler Huckleberry.
Jennifer Dubois Huckleberry.
And we're in love. What are we going to talk about this morning?
You had the question.
I had the question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, my first question is, the dishwasher's on. I'm going to turn that off.
And we're going to restart or no?
No, I'm not restarting.
This is live. He turned off everything else, the AC, every single fan in the house.
And they'll still hear the refrigerator.
Because he's insistent that it picks up every single little sound that exists in the house.
It's got to be just right. I don't know, our faces are kind of high. I could fix that. Anyway, we'll do that in future episodes. Gives you something to look forward to.
Your question. And you're slurping. You're worried about...
I know.
You're worried.
Giving them ASMR with
No,
slurping.
please do not. Oh my Lord.
I actually forgot my question.
The art one.
Art. Okay. Jennifer, what is your favorite art in our house? And what do you think it says about you that we hang it up and display it in our home?
Well, I first have to say I'm really excited about our new art, but that's not my favorite. Because we just got it and it's growing on me. I love it. For those of you who don't know, who haven't come over and stared at it with us yet, Tyler and I got our first 2 pieces of real art by the same artist locally, which is really, really, really cool and exciting. But he had asked me this question last night, so because I wanted to chew on it. And it's funny what it says about me, though. I choose to display it. I put it up. My angry art.
Oh, your angry art.
There's 2 pieces to the angry art collaboration. The one more simplistic one is I wanted to do something different than just a painting because I can draw and paint basic things, pretty things, but basic things. And I wanted to try, I don't know if it would be considered mixed media, but using different elements. It was actually really inspired by the piece of art you didn't buy in New York City, because remember how that had the pieces of newspaper and things in it.
Yeah.
So I painted a canvas blue, really pretty blue. I hand sewed a heart onto it, and underneath the heart were clippings from the newspaper, and I ripped the heart open where the news pieces were so that you could see what was like really in the heart. And for me, it was symbolic of how some Christians claim to be perfect and pretty, like the canvas is and the heart is, but then when you really look inside, there's dissension and frustration and different things that show who they truly are. So that's the first piece, and what it goes with is the art you made me create because I was angry.
Yeah.
So tell them what you told me before I tell them what the piece is about.
So I can't remember what I did, but I'm sure it was my fault. Also, I don't know. I said, "Why don't you make art about it or something?" And then she did, and then
and he left. We were angry and frustrated. And the voice in my head says, you're like, well, did you create art about it? Like, condescendingly. Like, not even like, hey, babe, you're frustrated. Maybe you should work this out through art. No, it was totally condescending.
Yeah.
And I did. He left, and I cut pieces out of magazine. And it wasn't just frustration with you. It was like all of my frustration in general, if you really look at the piece. And I made a collage. And it has these eyes like desperately looking up to the sky, and I painted and let it drip down it Amazing Grace with a question mark, and then I threw red paint at it. And that piece still holds a lot of my frustrations that I have inside about being hurt, being let down, being frustrated even at myself. And those two pieces together were something that I had never done before. A different type of art style, getting outside of my comfort zone of duplicating Disney characters and things, which I know I'm good at. And they still hold true to the way I feel about things, interesting enough, when they're at least 10 years old or more. So, and we only have them in the garage because there's not really a place in the house that makes sense to have them, but it's still displayed. And it's interesting to look back on how I felt in those moments.
I remember coming back and seeing it and thinking I was going to be murdered.
He was scared. Mission accomplished.
That was the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it worked.
He never told me to art again when I was angry. Maybe,
it's a good outlet.
Maybe I should, because they were kind of cool.
You need outlets.
Well, when I was angry as a teenager, I would write poetry or art. Mm-hmm. There's a whole sketchbook of Disney characters that related to people in my life and what happened. Like someone yelling at, like one Disney character yelling at another, or different things like that, because art for me is a really good escape. It's a better way to let those emotions out rather than to possibly hurt somebody by confronting them through raw emotion, you know?
Yeah. I've written a lot of bad poetry.
I know mine's great.
It's fun to look back on and see how things have developed over time with whatever art you're involved in. I'm sure you feel the same. But your best song or your best poem is probably the one that you've just written. Otherwise...
I'm smiling because I'm hearing cute little boy noises coming from their bedroom.
But otherwise, I don't want to say you hate it, but you're like not as impressed with previous works. But maybe that's just because you're not as involved with it personally as you are right now with whatever you've made.
Mm-hmm. What is your, did you say favorite piece of art that you choose to display in our home? And what does that say about you?
Oh,
it's your turn.
Well, I got this painting recently. We've had paintings in our home, but it's stuff that we've made, like our own
prints of artists that we really admire, which is still cool. That's a great way to start off with art.
Yeah, but you mentioned that New York adventure, and that ties into answering your question. I don't know how many years ago it was, but we went to New York. We took this train there.
I think we were with your family.
Might have been.
Because I distinctively remember your dad.
And then we went into a gallery and
it was cool.
Saw this piece that I couldn't even describe it, but it was multimedia. There was a lot in it, but it was beautiful. However, we came on the train and it wasn't small and it was expensive.
Yeah, it was big.
And to carry that back and just the logistics of it, and also we didn't have any money at the time, really. I don't know. I just always regretted not getting that, because it was like one of those moments where you see something and you're like, man, I feel like that would enrich my life to see it every day. But anyway, I have that same feeling about this poem. Uh, Probably multiple poems, for but this painting recently, and it's just a depiction. Like, it's pretty simple but deep in what it took to get there. But it's some ships coming in for the day in a dusk environment, and it's cloudy, and somehow you have a beautiful separation in the clouds, and and it's like a little almost rock peninsula looking, but when you look closer, there are ships coming in for the day, either fishing ships or, I don't know, military. It's kind of open to interpretation because it's that tonal impressionist style, but it makes me think of that effort that it takes to get to that point, but then it's so beautiful that evening and hopeful, and you feel accomplished at the end of the day. But you're also hopeful for a new day, but you could tell that there's struggle in it because there was work involved getting up to that point, and it's just pretty. What does it say to me about me that I like display it in my home?
Do you think would question our recent beach trip with the fog kind of even inspired your love of that foggy picture even more?
I did love the fog. We went to the beach, and for some reason that morning, and it was Memorial Day weekend, so usually crazy, but we were off the main area of the beach.
It was beautiful.
And we went with a lovely family, and when we were out there, it's like you can walk out for a long way without it getting up to your knees, the water. And the fog was so dense that morning, so you could only see so far,
and it kept rolling in and out,
and you could get to a point in the water where all you could see was water around you and the people you were close to, but it was beautiful. It was like dreamlike, and I love that. So maybe it did inspire that. I also saw your grandfather had a painting in his house that he mentioned when we were there, helping him work on his TV or something.
Yeah, the German castle.
Change some settings. But there was, beautiful castle painting. And I don't know, we've always liked going to galleries and admiring, but having something so masterful in your home is inspiring, and it's a privilege.
Yeah, because it wasn't where we were at however many years ago. That was a decent amount of time. If I remember right, if it's the trip I'm thinking about, it was even before the boys. So we're talking 11 or so years ago. So now to be in a place where we can comfortably, I mean, we've got to stop. It's easy to keep going with all of the beautiful art that was at that store where we bought our pieces, and Tyler admiring the artist herself. It's easy to want another quickly.
No, I'm happy.
But we've always been lovers of art in general. Theater, music, poetry, books, paintings,
People
museums.
are attracted to beautiful things. Also things that you couldn't do yourself. Like,
it makes me want to do it,
like
though,
the master.
so bad.
Yeah, well, that's fun, and that's the inspiring aspect. Like, you're inspired to try and find your own voice, but it's it's special.
Which is to that artists in general, whether it be for music or paintings or acting, get to the point where their art can be compensated for its, I mean, I know value is relative because it's what you want to pay for the painting. At the end of the day, is it really only worth, technically, what it costs to make it plus time? But that people hated that people start valuing your art in a way that can be compensated like that is a beautiful thing too. To see value in what you do and the hard work, because artists are very critical of themselves. Me being surrounded by young artists all the time, being a teacher, and then even the few times that I get to be around the adult artist teachers at my school, we're all very overly critical. And I see you doing that with your music and such. Artists in general are too critical of their work. And so it's really cool to have something that I'm sure this artist at some point was maybe a little critical about, but we just see it as nothing but beautiful and admire it and invite people to our house that we care about to see it. You know, even though some of them don't get it, it's still really sweet that they want to come and experience
like,
it.
I don't expect people to like what I like the way I like it.
Yeah, you do.
Well,
yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Sometimes. Yeah. So what's the next thing you're looking forward to?
You need to give me a second to chew on it, because if you have it, you can go ahead first, but I need to think.
No, I wasn't asking that for me to answer.
Summer break.
Summer break is great.
I was convinced.
Jealous every year.
And he's a little mean about it too.
I try not to be. I try not to be.
No, he does not.
I do try it.
Jealous.
I am jealous.
I told him
I'm not going
to get a job at a school and then we could be off together, but he didn't listen. No, but I convinced myself last week that last week was my last full week, and I was so excited because there is just something about the kids this year. They are feral, and I don't know if I've ever used that word before, but that is the only word.
By feral we mean lovely, no, well adjusted,
feral.
Well
this
adjusted. Time
of the year, I love them dearly, and I can't wait
thoughtful
to get away from them.
And passionate.
You know who you are. And no, I was excited because I thought it was the last full week, and then and also because Michelle is coming, Tyler's sister, my bestie, and so I was excited because I was excited to see Michelle.
Lori's gonna be pissed.
It's okay. Lori is a big girl and she can handle tough things.
No, she's your bestie. You just
I'm allowed to have a sister bestie too.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't have sisters.
No, I just helped you, I think.
And Lori and Michelle and Lauren are my sisters. I'm allowed to have multiple sisters.
Some people are possessive, and that's okay.
Lori and I are both possessive of each other. But she has her work friends, and I don't. So that's okay. No, but I was really excited for Michelle to come. I was really excited for summer break with the boys. And so when I figured out that this week is actually my last full week and then she comes, I was bummed. But that's what I'm looking forward to is summer break, because I have my 2 master's classes that I'm really excited about. And I'll be okay. He gets stressed. I don't. I'm fine in like writing my papers and he's stressed about it. But I enjoy it. I actually really do. Even the assignments when they're tedious, I really, really enjoy it. And just to...
We're so privileged. We're talking about art and you going for your master's.
And masters and summer breaks off. But no, the one thing that I have to squeeze in before I throw it to you, because we're winding down on time.
Life is hard.
Stop it.
It is.
Sometimes. Summer break.
Probably most of the time.
Is a necessary thing for teachers.
Yeah.
There's no way I could survive year round. And I'm thankful for those times, not only just for the mental break to recoup and to reset and plan for the next year, because I do that because I'm an obsessive planner. I should just be off and not work at all because I'm not getting paid, but I do. And to have that time with the boys is huge to me. That's why I don't want to give them away during the summer, because it's just nice to go outside and play or go swimming at Aggie's or random beach trip, hang out with friends at the park. All of those things are really healing in the summer, and I always look forward to that.
Yeah, no, I'm not I'm very happy that you get summers. I am jealous. And I get more jealous as summer goes on. But
does it make you feel any better that I can't just pick a vacation any time of the year like you can?
Anyway, that's our time. Sunday morning Huckleberries. This is it. I don't know how it's going to develop or what it's going to become, but
we'll see. And we'll
honestly,
make sure
I thought
Aiden's cute games in the background.
I believe Jen is incredibly interesting, and
Where's this going?
I want a record of that. I want a diary of our conversations. And I love you.
I love you too.
And that's it. Now I got to figure out how to turn this live off.
Because we're not editing.
That's not work.